is present over here. So I am Asmit standing before you to give my idea on the startup called Termite Alarmers. Next please. So what our team consists of? Our team consists of 4 members which comprises of agriculturalist, one developer, market analyst and manager. All the 4 members have an agricultural engineering background. So I would like to give an startup overview regarding this. Next please. Our business idea is to introduce the farmers with the modern way of irrigating the field with the use of Internet of Things based automatic drip irrigation system, which will not only help the farmers to optimize the water and make the crop water requirement to the optimum level, but also to combat the diseases like root knot nematodes and termites that are prevailing more in the crop, which are affecting the crops more in the areas of dry land areas. Although we know that agriculture is the largest employer in all 3 sectors across India and the world, but the contribution towards the GDP is only 15 to 17% in our country. Next. So, what our team is doing is to trying to solve the problem. The problem that we have encountered is that the people are at the huge losses due to the crops affected by diseases like rust, smut, envy, and pests like termites and parasitic nematodes, which is the Melaleucin species which affect the growth of horticultural crops. For example, the root knot nematodes affect the growth of tomatoes, carrots, etc. These affect in the areas of dry land areas where the moisture content is less than 10 to 15%. And we can see this problem largely in the areas of Gulf countries like Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, etc. Next please. So, where does the problem come from? The termites and the parasitic nematodes which grow in moist soil more rapidly and they absorb more water, making the soil dry and creating more holes in soil, but restrict the growth of roots of the soil. Actually, the termites and the parasitic nematodes live nearly to the root zone only, which is called the rhizosphere. Apart from that, below 1 to 10 meters, the termites don't exist over there, because the moisture content is more as compared to the moisture content near the root zone. So it makes the optimum life cycle for them to grow near the roots, and that is why the crops are most affected, because the termites are taking the soil moisture content more as compared to the roots. Next please. So what is the solution that our startup team is going to do with it? Our team wants to solve this problem by making sensors for detecting the population of parasitic nematodes and termites in the soil. What our team will is that we will make a sensor which will work on the principle of hydraulic conductivity and imaging processing with the help of nanosensors. So, we will be using Internet of Things based automatic drip irrigation system which will optimize the water requirement for the crops like wheat, paddy, etc. which is less than 10 to 15%, the water will start flowing. The solenoid valves are used to start and stop the flow from the water supply area. When it reaches the required soil moisture content, the valves will be automatically get switched off, because we have done the programming and written the algorithm in the termite server itself. Next please. So all the data that will be collecting will reach to the farmers for each crop like wheat, maize, sorghum, carrot, cotton, etc. Our team will develop a desert crop modeling system which will help the farmers to make a decision taking for them. They will get the notifications from an app on hourly basis so that the farmers can track everything from the home itself. It will be beneficial for small and marginal farmers as well as for other farmers who can earn huge profits from our technology. Next. So this is the diagram which we have made. Our team is working on. This is the base station. We will be using the components like Raspberry Pi, Arduino Uno board, and this is Zigbee modular which act as a sensor and an actuator. And this is the drip irrigation system which is joined with the main line. Why we are choosing the drip irrigation system to combat the problem? Because we all know that the drip irrigation system has the maximum efficiency of crop water requirement. Next. So this is the working model that we are going to propose for this. Next. This is the working. First of all, it will go when we start up the drip irrigation system. It will initialize the DHT11 sensor and moisture sensor. What will the DHT sensor and the moisture sensor will do? It will record the temperature and humidity data. From that, the data will go to the termite server that our team is developing, and from that data, the data will be transmitted to the farmers, and the farmers can easily avail the data and get to know how much crop is being affected and how much growth is taking place. If the soil moisture content is low, then through our app the motor can be automatically get on, and when it reaches the required moisture content, that is it gets 30 to 35% of the moisture content, it will automatically get off. Next please. What we can see the opportunity and size of market. We want to target the farmers firstly in the place all over the India. We would also like to do partnership with companies like Jan Irrigation Private Limited and others, and with them we would like to expand overseas where water scarcity is more prevalent, like in Gulf and African countries, that is UAE, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, etc. Our first target is to cover and sell our product across 5,000 farmers in 6 months. Our first target customers are the farmers mainly, and also the farm producing organizations. Next. So we have conducted surveys all over the India across the fields, like we can see survey near the Tiruchuguddi, Idduhatti in Tamil Nadu, survey near Kottagiri, Udgamandalam, Tamil Nadu, and these were the meetings that were being held with the farmers like Jay Prakash sir, who was a great farmer of India awarded in 2013. This was a meeting done with them, and also we visited the farms of Anantapur, where we can see it is a drought prone area, and the use of drip irrigation system will be much more helpful for the farmers, and we can also reach our target to earn maximum profits. Next. This is the work. These are the two students who are working, taking the soil sample for taking the pH and electrical conductivity. This is the sampling that is being done so that we can know about how much water requirement is there. Next. So, customer acquisition strategy. How can we attract the customers towards ourselves so that they can buy our technology? During a survey in places like Anantapur, Vanastali, etc., we came to know that the problem is big according to farmers, and it becomes difficult for them to predict the health of crop being affected at early stage. So, by making a low-cost technology, that is, making sensors for them to alert them about the population growth of termites and nematodes, this will attract the customers, that is farmers, because they will be exempted to put medicines because it costs a much higher rate than they will be using our technology. So I would like to request to the farmers to adopt our technology, which is IoT based automatic drip irrigation system, which will help in water, and also it will help to restrict the crop health that is being affected by the root knot nematodes and tomatoes. So next, there are many competitors in the market, but what our team thinks is that it considers itself that we should compete with itself so that we can do a lot more better and achieve our goals and produce best products for farmers as suggested by Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple. Next please. So this is our business model. As you can see in the next slide, we have two developers who will develop an app for Android and iOS so that the notifications are given to the farmers for growth of harmful microorganisms, temperature and humidity readings, and soil moisture content, which works as an important factor which will help farmers to take decisions accordingly. Next. We will be able to distribute and sell our product to our customers because our technology or process will cost much lesser than applying doses of medicines and sprays which are affecting the growth and soil and plant health simultaneously. We can also make use of the drones which will quantify the land area so that we can take the images of the soil where the soil moisture content is less, and through the machine learning process we can accurately find out how much soil moisture content is there at which place and which area rightly, and we can make the decisions accordingly. Next. So this is the revenue model that our team has developed. Cost of an app would require rupees 5,000. Cost of component use is, if we use for one Raspberry Pi model for a small area, then it will cost 2,500 and so on. And so if we go for 2 hectare land, it will approximately, next slide please, it will approximately go for rupees 45,000 to 60,000, and cost for components for 2 hectare land will cost around rupees 6,000, which will be IoT based. So it's a low cost technology that we can give to the farmers, and we as a non-profit organization can work really well and we can generate funds on it. Thank you.